Great. Welcome to week 4 of Funday's Liga Quiz League, written by Abhinav Das Gupta, Amrit Preetham Chetia, Ananya Upadhyaya, Haripriya Ganguly, Rahul Kotalgi, Riya Chopra, and Shresh Shah. Instructions for players and readers. So just wanted to check if you're seeing the right screen. I already got the answer.
Seeing the scorecard right now.
Yeah, please don't discuss the content of the questions with anyone or on social media till the end of the game, which is tomorrow. Please keep both your hands visible to the camera at all times. If you, just your hands wander away, it's my prerogative to sort of remind you. All right. Any questions, or are we good to go?
To go.
Yes, good to go.
1 second. All right, seat order is as follows. Chandrakant Nair, followed by Pat Gibson, Thejaswi Udupa, and Arun Hiregange. Round 1, player 1, question 1. Let me start. To Chandrakant Nair. I'm going to be pasting the questions and I'll start reading. You have 30 seconds to answer. On the pass, you get 5 seconds. In case you have given me a partial answer, and I will prompt you, right, as the case, wherever it makes sense to. So player 1, question 1.
Start or something first.
No, it's going to work. So if the first question doesn't work, let's see. Right? Okay, question 1 coming up. The official East German state flag used from 1959 onwards featured a hammer and which other object? While the hammer represented the workers in the factories, the other object symbolized the workers, farmers, and intelligentsia. This object can be seen in Isaac Newton's hands in a William Blake monotype print.
I'm going to go with the geometric compass.
Compass is correct. So I will remind you when you have 10 seconds left. And on the pass, I will not send any or remind you. Just give me a second. I'm having some troubles copying. All right, player 1, question 2. Here you go. Which lively dance with origins in Spain is mostly performed by couples in triple meter and accompanied by guitars, castanets, or hand clapping? This dance is name dropped in a famous 1975 rock song. It is also the name of the ticketing company that owns Flickster and Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm going to go with Fandango.
Fandango it is. So Chandrakant Nair gets 2 on 2. Player 2, question 1. Pat Gibson coming up. First popularized by the future King Edward VII in the 1890s after his visit to Bad Homburg in Hesse, Germany, the Homburg hat was given which future British Prime Minister's name after he made it fashionable in the 1930s. As Prime Minister, he would be involved in the Suez Crisis in the 1950s.
Eden.
Sir Anthony Eden is correct for a point. Question 2 to Pat Gibson coming up. Which actor started off playing mostly villainous roles before he appeared in a semi-comic double role in 1994's Andaz Apna Apna? He also portrayed Sardar Patel in a biopic that same year. He has been a Minister of Parliament from 2014 to 2019 for Ahmedabad East as well.
Kapoor.
Kapoor is incorrect. Udupa?
Paresh Rawal.
Paresh Rawal is correct. That gets a steal for Udupa there. Right. First, two questions for Udupa now.
Ashwin, just a second. Sir, off here there. Okay.
No problem. All right. Udupa, your first question coming up. For long, the only Chinese port accessible to most foreign traders, which city was captured by the British during the First Opium War? It briefly served as the capital of the Republic of China in April 1949, towards the end of the Chinese Civil War. An English name of the city should remind you of 26 Swiss divisions.
Canton or Guangzhou.
Guangzhou or Canton or Guangzhou or Guangzhou is correct and gives a point. Question 2 to Udupa coming up. Which video game franchise created by Blizzard Entertainment in 1994 consists of games such as Ox and Humans and Hearthstone? Expansion packs for its most famous entry, which is an MMORPG, include Mists of Pandaria and Battle of Azeroth. The answer is a single 8-letter word.
Warcraft.
Warcraft is correct. I've been told to grudgingly accept World of Warcraft as well. So that's 2-on-2 for Udupa. First of Arun Hiregange's questions coming up. Just give me a second. Under what stage name did DJ Tim Bergling perform? The name refers to the lowest level of Naraka or hell in Buddhist philosophy, into which the dead who have committed grave misdeeds may be reborn. He unfortunately died aged 28 in 2018. His most famous songs are Levels, Hey Brother, and Wake Me Up.
Avicii.
Avicii is correct. Question 2 coming up. Rostropria is a diaprid wasp genus described as a solitary female. It is appropriately named for which actress, famed for her line, "I want to be alone"? She shares her first name with a contemporary crusader from the same country.
Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbo is indeed correct. That's 2-on-2 for Arun. And that brings us to the end of the first round. After round 1, we have Thejaswi Udupa leading with 3 points, followed by Arun and Chandrakant with 2 apiece, and then Pat Gibson is on 1. Round 2, question 1 to Chandrakant coming up. I feel weird saying all these first names out, but bear with me. Popularly known as the Sally Shag, what hairstyle, popular in the 1990s, was named after an actress who appeared in many romantic comedies in that decade? It is a possible reference to its creator, Sally Hershberger, and not to this actress's most endearing title role in a 1989 film.
Ashwin, I believe Major has dropped off from the call.
Oh, I just noticed that.
Yeah. So let's just wait for half a minute.
Yeah, Major is calling me. Let me just answer his call. Hey, Major.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you just ask him to pop?
Yes. We just noticed that you've dropped off. We've asked him to hold on for a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just give us a second.
Cool. He's just logging back and give me a minute.
Yeah, I think he's in an hospital. So I think, and he's been having some connection issues.
Oh, this is Captain's Direct only, right?
Yes. So do you know when he dropped off? Does anyone know?
Just start from the,
Just about,
you can just start from the top.
All right.
I'm just going to try to rearrange some videos. I don't need to see myself. Is the way to minimize my video? Okay, hide self view. Okay.
Trying to call it. Sorry, I couldn't hear the Tapu.
No, it's sorted, I think. He wanted to know how to minimize or not see himself.
Step away from the mirror.
It's useful to see in the sense that now I don't know how to bring myself back. Anyway, my hands are not visible just yet.
No, I can see your hands. All good.
Extremely sorry. I'm in at hospital and the Wi-Fi just got switched off.
I'm not able to see your video for some reason. Just give me a second. Can you turn the video on or? Can you hear us? Major, can you hear us? I don't think he can.
He's not on yet. His camera is not on.
I can see him online, but his video is not on.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can see you. Yes.
Am I up now?
Yes.
Just to be on the safer side, let me just get my mobile Wi-Fi also switched on so that if it gets cut again, I can switch on to it. Extremely sorry, I am in a public location, so. Yeah, any connection errors from my end now?
No, we can see you. All good.
Perfect.
I think we're good to go.
Yeah. Let me just open my chat window. Just give it a second.
So I'm going to be pasting the question again.
One sec.
And start before I start reading.
Ashwin, you could also try turning.
Sorry, I lost you. Ashwin, can you repeat what you said?
Ashwin, I was recommending you could also turn your video feed off. It might improve the bandwidth just a little for Major.
Yeah. I'm good to go. Good to go from my side. Extremely sorry.
Sure, no problem. So round two.
Just in case the network comes off again, I'll request you to just bear with me because I'm not home and then up at hospital, so might go off. Just no. Advance notice, that's all.
No problem. So round two, while the connection holds, let's restart, right? I hope everyone is good to go. Round two, question one, this is to you coming up. Popularly known as the Sally Shag, what hairstyle popular in the 1990s was named after an actress who appeared in many romantic comedies in that decade? It is a possible reference to its creator Sally Hershberger and not to this actress's most enduring title role in a 1989 film. You have 10 seconds.
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan is correct. Get to your point. Question two coming up. What symbol in language, sorry, I'll restart. What symbol in language is derived from an object that can be seen in the sky in both its shape and name? A fictional Celt from Armorica, who first appeared in 1959, has a name derived from this symbol. About 10 seconds.
I'll go with.
I need an answer now.
Luna.
Sorry. Luna is incorrect. Passes. Pat Gibson.
Asterisk.
Asterisk is indeed correct. That's a steal. And now for your directs. Prisucoila imalshukapis is a species of gall wasp. If the species name is derived from the song All Shook Up, the name Prisucoila is a tribute to which entertainer?
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley is correct. Question 2 coming up. The video game franchise The Elder Scrolls was developed by Bethesda and debuted in 1994 with the title Arena. It also consists of award-winning games Morrowind, Oblivion, and the fifth main installment, which is considered one of the greatest games of all time. Which game is this, named after the northernmost province of the fictional continent Tamriel?
Azeroth.
Azeroth is incorrect. It passes to Arun.
Pass.
Passes to Chandrakant.
Pass.
Passes to Udupa.
I'm getting half the answer in my head, so no point. Pass.
Passes. All right. The correct answer is Skyrim.
Skyrim. Yeah, damn it.
What?
Who's
Skyrim.
asked
I
there?
can skip
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Let me type the answer here.
It's okay. No problem. No problem.
All right. Now for Udupa's directs.
Skyrim.
Question 1. A shiny stainless steel sculpture of a rabbit as well as an orange balloon dog are among the most expensive works of art by a living artist. Which artist from York, Pennsylvania is the creator of such artworks?
Koons. Jeffrey Koons.
Koons is correct. Question 2 coming up, Udupa. His 2008 studio album, Imagine, entered the Dutch album charts at number 1, a first for a dance music artist in Dutch music history. Who is this DJ who also hosts a weekly radio show called A State of Trance since 2001? He shares the surname with a former US president and has hits such as Ping Pong and This Is What It Feels Like.
Van Buren. Aaron Van Buren.
Van Buren is correct. It's Armin Van Buren, the president being Martin Van Buren. That gets you a point. That's 2-2 again for Udupa. Moving to Arun's directs. Abiy Ahmed received the Nobel Peace Prize for ending the 20-year post-war territorial stalemate between which country and Eritrea? He won it while serving as the 4th Prime Minister of this country and is the latest head of government to win the Nobel Peace Prize while in office.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is correct. That's a point. Question 2 coming up. Named after the ancient Roman province on the northwest African coast and not the modern country to its south, what was the world's largest ship until 1910? She won the eastbound and westbound blue ribbons in 1907 and 1909 for the fastest transatlantic crossings, holding both speed records for 20 years.
Mauritania.
Mauritania is indeed correct. That's 2-2 for Apu. Round 3. That's the end of 2 rounds. Sorry. And we have Udupa in the lead with 5 points, followed by Arun with 4, and Pat Gibson and Chandrakant Nair on 3 apiece. Moving on to round 3, question 1 to Chandrakant. What is the billionaire capital of the world with the highest number of billionaires living in this city? The city has the largest single structure airport terminal in the world and was the last of the Chinese great ancient capitals. You have 10 seconds.
I'm gonna go with Chongqing.
Chongqing is incorrect. Passes to Arun. I need an answer.
Okay,
3,
Shanghai.
2, 1. Shanghai is incorrect. Passes to Pat Gibson.
Beijing.
Beijing is indeed correct. That's a point. That's a nice steal there. Question 2 coming up to Chandrakant. Which cricketer's unbeaten 148 is the highest individual score in women's T20 internationals? Her uncle holds the Australia record for the most tests as wicketkeeper. Full name, please.
I'm gonna say Alyssa Healy.
Alyssa Ailey is indeed correct. That's a point to you. Nice answer there. Now, player 2, question 1 coming up. Question to Pat Gibson. The name of which dance form with origins in Spain is etymologically connected to the country's military? In their marching patterns, the military usually did 60 steps a minute, but when they doubled up to 120 steps a minute, this term was used.
Paso doble.
Paso doble indeed. That's a point to Pat. Question 2 coming up. Played by Christian Ritter, the titular character of which superhero TV show is a private investigator who has a brief superhero career. This was until an incident in which the villainous Kilgrave causes her to kill someone. The superheroes Luke Cage and Hellcat also feature in this Marvel series. Ten seconds left.
Veronica Mars.
Veronica Mars is incorrect. Passes to Chandrakant Nair.
Don't want to risk it. I'm
I have to
passing.
push you.
Passing.
Passing.
January
Udupa?
Jones.
January
January-
Jones is incorrect. Passes to Arun.
Pass.
Pass. Udupa, you were close. The answer is not January Jones. January Jones is the actress. We are talking about Jessica Jones here.
Jessica Jones. Ah,
That's unfortunate. Yes. So close but no cigar. Now you can make up for that through your directs coming up. What cell organelle gets its name from the Latin word for whip, given its protruding lash-like structure? One of the examples of their occurrence is in mammalian sperm cells, which help propel the sperms through the female reproductive tract.
flagella.
Flagella or flagellum is indeed correct. That's a point. Udupa, question 2 coming up. The modern airplane symbolizes this city's role as a transportation hub. The field of yellow possibly represents the Yukon Gold Rush. What is the missing central object on the city's flag, also the source of the city's nautical name? Name of the city will also do.
An anchor in Anchorage's flag.
That's correct. That's 2-on-2 again. Question 1 in this round 3 to Arun coming up. Named after the US Army officer William Hardy, the Hardy hat is also nicknamed after which Confederate leader? It is ironical given that it was a regulation dress hat for enlisted men in the Union Army during the American Civil War. 10 seconds left.
Stonewall Jackson.
Jackson is incorrect. Passes to Chandrakant Nair.
Pass.
Passes to Pat Gibson.
Pass.
Passes to Udupa.
I'll guess Lee, Robert E. Lee.
Lee is incorrect. That goes for an X. The correct answer is Jefferson Davis.
Confederate leader.
Arun, your second question coming up. Which typographical symbol was long used in Catalan, Spanish, and Portuguese as an abbreviation for arroba, a unit of weight equivalent to 25 pounds? The sign made its way to other languages as a commercial indicator of value, but the advent of the internet has made it ubiquitous.
Indicator of value.
Ten more seconds.
I don't know. The dollar sign.
To push for a dollar sign is incorrect. Chandrakant? Need an answer. 3, 2, 1, passes. Pat Gibson?
Pass.
Pass to Udupa.
Hash sign, no, octothorpe, pound sign.
Is incorrect. This is the at symbol or at the rate symbol. That brings us to the end of round 3. The end of round 3, we have Udupa on 7, leading with, and followed by Pat Gibson on 5, who's managed to catch up in the last 2 rounds. And we have Chandrakant Nair and Arun Hiregange on 4 apiece. As far as the bonus items go, we have Udupa leading with 4, followed by Pat Gibson at 2, Arun on 1, and Chandrakant Nair yet to attempt a bonus question. So round 4, direct to Chandrakant Nair, question 1 coming up. Which TV series, which ran for 10 seasons from 2001 to 2011, was an origin story of its superhero protagonist as he grew up in rural Kansas with his friends Lana and Pete? Tom Welling played the superhero in question. Ten seconds left.
I'm just going to say Man of Steel.
Man of Steel is incorrect. Passes to Arun.
I'll give a guess. I'll say Smallville.
Smallville is correct. You guessed it right. That's a good steal there for a point. It is indeed Smallville. Man of Steel is on the right track, but it's not the name of the series, unfortunately. Question 2 to Chandrakant Nair coming up. Derived from Greek for self-devouring, what term describes the act of lysosomes digesting waste material from inside the cell? Its role in cancer suppression as well as growth is one that has been highly researched and reviewed.
I'm going to say autophagy.
The doctor happens to get this right. This is indeed autophagy. Directs round 4, question 1 to Pat Gibson. Who received the Nobel Peace Prize while serving as the 8th and last leader of the Soviet Union? Domestically, his policy of glasnost, openness, allowed for enhanced freedom of speech and press, while his perestroika, restructuring, sought to decentralize economic decision-making to improve efficiency.
Gorbachev.
Gorbachev is indeed correct. That's a point. Moving on to question 2. When and if I can manage to copy this. Question 2. What was the largest ocean liner in the world for 2 periods from 1910 to 1913, interrupted only by the brief tenure of a slightly larger White Star liner? It is named after a quadrennial event that dates back to 776 BC.
Olympic.
RMS Olympic is indeed correct. That's 2-1-2 for Pat Gibson. Moving on to Thejaswi Udupa's directs. Question 1 coming up. Actress Jean Harlow's premature death at 26 was reportedly due to her keeping what specific shade of hair color? She subjected herself to weekly bleachings with a concoction of peroxide, ammonia, and Clorox. She also acted in a 1931 film of the exact same name as the shade of hair.
Platinum blonde.
Platinum blonde is indeed correct. That's a point. Question 2 coming up. Which Bollywood comedian was given his famous screen name by Guru Dutt? The name was a reference to a brand founded in Scottish borough of Kilmarnock in East Ayrshire in 1820. First and last name needed.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker is indeed correct. Born Badruddin Jamaluddin Khazi. That's a point. Gets 2-1-2 again. Started strong with getting all his 8 directs correct. Moving on to Arun's directs for this round. Question 1. Question 1 to Arun. Which artist, also known for his paper collage, let me restart. Which artist, also known for his paper collage work, took to painting goldfish in at least 9 of his paintings starting 1912, following his trip to Tangier, Morocco? Along with Pablo Picasso, he helped define some of the revolutionary developments in 20th century art.
Is it Matisse?
Henri Matisse is indeed correct. That's a point. That brings us to question number 2 to Arun. 13 years before Sachin Tendulkar became the first man to get there, who became the first person ever to score a double century in ODI cricket? This legend of Australian cricket, who led the country to multiple ODI World Cup wins, achieved it in 1997 against Denmark.
What's her name? Belinda Clark.
Managed to remember. Yes, that is indeed Belinda Clark. So that's a point to you. At the end of 4 rounds, we have Thejaswi Udupa leading at 9, followed by Pat Gibson and Arun Hiregange tied at 7 apiece, with Chandrakant Nair not too far behind at 5. As far as bonus attempts go, it's nothing yet for Chandrakant Nair, and we have Pat Gibson and Arun on 2 apiece again, tied here as well, with Udupa leading on this count as well, with 4 bonus attempts so far. So round 5, at the halfway mark, let's start. Question 1 to Chandrakant Nair. Introduced by showman Francisco Montes in 1835, the montera is the name given to headgear typically worn by participants in which sport or activity. It is usually an accompaniment to the traje de luces or suite of lights worn by the chief performer.
I'll say bullfighting.
Bullfighting is correct. That's a point to you. Question 2 to Chandrakant coming up. Which Kabul-born actor, noted for his many comic roles, was acting in a play called Tash Ke Patte when he was given a break in the Hindi film industry by Dilip Kumar, with the films being Sagina Matho and Bairag?
Many comic roles.
10 seconds left.
Mehboob.
Is incorrect. Passes to Pat Gibson.
Pass.
Passes to Arun. I need an answer.
Pass.
Passes to Udupa.
I will pass for a change.
Who passes as well. So this happens to be Kader Khan.
Oh, yes.
We come to Pat Gibson's directs. Question 1. Which DJ shares his name with a gelatin and sugar-based confectionery that is a campsite favorite? He wears a custom white helmet resembling the confectionery for public appearances. His identity was initially a secret, but was confirmed by Forbes to be Chris Comstock in 2017. His most famous track is Happier, featuring Bastille.
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow is indeed correct. That's a point. Question 2 coming up to Pat Gibson. Which African country's flag borrows several tropes from Soviet symbolism, including a gear representing industrial workers in production and a star symbolizing international solidarity and progress? This country on the Atlantic coast borders countries such as Namibia and the DRC.
Angola.
Angola is indeed correct. That's a point. Nicely done. Moving on to Udupa's set of directs. Question 1. Who received the Nobel Peace Prize while serving as the Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany from 1969 to 1974, fleeing to Norway and then Sweden during the Nazi regime, and working as a left-wing journalist? He took the name we know him by as a pseudonym to avoid detection by Nazi agents, and then formally adopted the name in 1948.
Willy Brandt.
Can you repeat your answer, please? Sorry,
Willy Brandt.
Willy Brandt is indeed correct.
W-I-L-Y-B-R-A-N-D-T.
I don't think you need to spell here, but you will get a point regardless. And here's your second question of this round. Which British actress gives her name to a ground beetle species? The scientific paper describing the nomenclature said, her character did not go down with the ship, but we will not be able to say the same for this elegant canopy species if all the rainforest is converted to pasture.
Kate Winslet.
Yes, it's indeed Kate Winslet. That's 2-on-2 again for Udupa. Now coming to Arun's set of directs. Question 1. The New York style is the most popular variety of which Latin dance that actually originated in the USA? Apparently, the name was popularized by the record label Fania to market their music, and its founder says he chose the word because of its spicy and hot connotations.
Spicy. Is it flamenco?
Flamenco is incorrect. Passes to Chandrakant Nair. I need an answer.
Pass, pass.
Pass. Passes to Pat Gibson.
Salsa.
Salsa is indeed correct. Coming to question 2 for Arun. The Game Boy Advance games, subtitled Power of Grayskull and Defender of Grayskull, centered around which fictional universe? Name of the primary character whose alter ego is Prince Adam will also do.
God for childhood. He-Man.
He-Man is indeed correct. That's that brings us to the end of round 5. We have Pat Gibson closing the lead on Udupa, with Udupa leading with 11. Pat Gibson on 10, followed by Arun on 8 and Chandrakant on 6. Still a lot to play for, 3 rounds to go. Round 6, question 1 to Chandrakant coming up. Benihana, a Japanese restaurant franchise, is owned by Hiroki Rocky Blank, a former Japanese-American amateur wrestler and restaurateur. His son is currently among the top 10 DJs, according to DJMag.com, and has collaborated with BTS, Louis Tomlinson, and others. What is his name, the creator of tracks such as Kudi the Kid, No Beef, and Turbulence? 10 seconds.
Daru.
Garud is incorrect. Passes to Arun.
Pass.
Pass to Gibson.
Pass.
Passes to Udupa.
This is Aoki, as in Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki or Aoki is indeed correct. That's a nice steal there for Udupa. So question number 2 to Chandrakant coming up. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf won the Nobel Peace Prize while serving as the 24th president of which country from 2006 to 2018? Known as Africa's Iron Lady, she was the first elected female head of state in Africa.
Liberia.
Liberia is indeed correct. That's a point. First direct in this round, Pat Gibson coming up. Inspired by an 1894 painting, a 2013 episode of the show Rick and Morty shows 5 intelligent canines smoking cigars and doing something while using their advanced robotic suits. Which painting?
Dogs playing poker.
Is indeed correct. That's dogs playing poker for a point. Moving on to question 2 for Pat Gibson. Though he shared the 1906 Nobel in Medicine in recognition of his work on the structure of the nervous system, his name lives on through the name of which cell organelle? These organelles help process and package proteins and lipid molecules and appear as a series of stacked membranes.
The Golgi apparatus.
Golgi apparatus is indeed correct. That's a point. That's 2-1-2 again for Pat Gibson. Next set of directs in round 6 coming up to Thejaswi Udupa. The deer stalker, a tweed cap typically worn by hunters in rural areas, is now a staple for which profession in cartoons and comic strips, thanks to its association with arguably the most famous fictional character in that profession?
Detectives.
Detectives or sleuths is indeed correct. That's a point. Question 2 to Udupa coming up. Earlier this month, India's Mithali Raj went past which cricketer to become the most prolific run getter in women's internationals? Nicknamed Lottie, this former Indian captain scored 10,273 runs in internationals and received a MBE and CBE for her services to the sport.
Charlotte Edwards.
Can you repeat your answer, please? Sorry, I missed it.
Charlotte Edwards.
Charlotte Edwards is indeed correct. That's a point. So Udupa goes 12-12. Next set of directs to Arun coming up. Which actor won the last Filmfare Award given for Best Performance in a Comic Role in 2007 in a film that was a follow-up to a 2003 hit? The character he played was called Sarkeshwar Sharma, but is better known by an electrical sounding name.
You know the actor, right?
10 seconds. I'll have to push you for an answer now.
I am not able to remember. I just remember the character.
Okay. Passes to Chandrakant Nair.
Arshad Warsi.
Arshad Wasi is indeed correct. That's a nice steal there. Question 2 to Arun coming up. Which country's flag features a book symbolizing the importance of education? Quite ironic, given how the country is one of the only 4 UN member states to feature a firearm on its flag, along with Guatemala, Haiti, and Bolivia.
Mozambique.
Mozambique is indeed correct. That brings us to the end of round 6. At the end of round 6, we have Thejaswi Udupa leading with 14 points, followed by Pat Gibson on 12. Then we have a bit of a gap, and then we have Arun on 9 and Chandrakant Nair closing the gap. That was there earlier by a point on 8. And as far as bonus items go, we have Udupa leading on this front again with 5, followed by Pat Gibson on 3, Arun on 2, and Chandrakant on 1. Moving on to round 7. Round 7, first of Chandrakant's directs coming up right now. Chirolana is a genus of isopod crustaceans found on coral reefs, including one coral reef of Bawe Island in Zanzibar, Tanzania. One species is named after whom, arguably Zanzibar's most famous entertainment export.
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury is indeed correct. That's a point. Moving on to question 2 to Chandrakant. Which video game franchise created by Bungie in 2001 is currently developed by 343 Industries? This developer takes its name from the character 343 Guilty Spark. Other characters' life forms in the game's universe include Master Chief, Cortana, and the Flood.
Halo.
Halo is indeed correct. That's 2-1-2 for Chandrakant. Moving on to Pat Gibson's directs. Here is question 1. The city was the starting point of the Silk Road and home to the UNESCO World Heritage Site where the Terracotta Army is located. Which of the Chinese great ancient capitals is this, whose name translates to Western Peace?
Xi'an. Xian.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said?
Xi'an. Xi''am.
I'll have to pass you there to Chandrakant Nair.
That was Ashwin. That was correct.
Okay.
XI''an is what Pat said, which is correct.
Okay, I heard it as M. Sorry.
Xian, that's a point.
Apologies for that. I heard it as Chiam
I
and not M.
meant N.
And sorry, that's on me. That's indeed correct. We'll have a bit of a breather before going on to the next question. Question 2 to Pat Gibson coming up. Greek writing was done in scripta continua, where there was no spacing between words. This necessitated the use of a symbol to show which letters were part of the same word. The modern usage of this symbol is similar in context, and the name comes from the ancient Greek under one. What common grammatical sign is this?
Hyphen.
Hyphen is indeed correct. That's 2-1-2. Moving on to Udupa's directs. Let's see if we can keep up his streak. Question 1 to Udupa. The name of which dance in 3/4 time with origins in Spain literally means flight. The dance style's legacy lives in the works of many composers such as Maurice Ravel, whose most famous piece is named after the dance.
Bolero.
Bolero is indeed correct. Question 2 to Udupa coming up. Artemis Carpathia was a Cunard Line transatlantic passenger steamship which was sunk on 17 July 1918 after being torpedoed by a German submarine. 6 years earlier, she became famous for rescuing survivors of which rival White Star Line passenger liner?
The Titanic.
Artemis Titanic is indeed correct. 14-14. next set of lyrics to Arun coming up. The comic turned superhero Netflix TV show Umbrella Academy tells the story of a dysfunctional set of siblings. It was co-written by Gerard Way. What group with a three-word name was Way the lead vocalist of? The group's genre has been characterized alternative rock, punk rock, gothic rock, most controversially, emo.
I'm going to get this wrong. Three-word name.
Ten seconds.
Chemical Brothers.
Chemical
Chemical
Brothers is incorrect. Passes to Chandrakant Nair.
Pass.
Passes to Pat Gibson.
My Chemical Romance.
That is indeed the correct answer. Arun was so close. I think that was it. Unfortunately, happens to be a different band. So here you go to make up for it with your next lyric from this round. Popularly known as the Beatles cut, what hairstyle with a rhyming name was popularized by John, Paul, George, and Ringo in the 1960s?
Top.
Can you repeat your answer? I think I couldn't hear you clearly.
Mop top.
Mop
MOP.
top is indeed correct. That's a point. This time around, you don't miss it. And so at the end of round 7, we have Thejaswi Udupa leading with 16 points after getting 14 of his 14 right, followed by Pat Gibson on 15, with Chandrakant and Arun tied on 10 apiece. As far as bonus attempts go, we have Udupa again on 5, with Gibson on 4, Chandrakant on 1, and Arun on 2. Round 8, the last round, question 1 coming up to Chandrakant. Glenfiddich single malt Scotch whiskey has used a variation of a stag in their logo since 1968. This logo is inspired by an 1851 painting called Monarch of the Glen by which artist?
Edwin Lancey.
Edwin Landseer is indeed correct. That's a point. Question 2 coming up to Chandrakant Nair. In 1982, an oceaneering international diving expedition salvaged one reel of the carpet from Baghdad, a 1915 American silent adventure film that was considered lost. The salvage was from the wreck of what history-making ship named after an ancient Roman province on the west of the Iberian Peninsula?
Uh,
10 seconds.
the Lusitania.
Lusitania is indeed correct. You did manage to pull that one out. Nice answer there. 2 on 2. Moving on to Pat Gibson's lyrics in this last round. Question 1 coming up. What popular hairstyle was named after a fictional character who, among other things, was a personal shopper at Bloomingdale's and later an executive of Ralph Lauren? She was also offered a job at Louis Vuitton, but ended up declining it.
You want one or two names, one or two words? Rachel Green, the Rachel?
The Rachel is indeed correct. Sorry, I had no instruction whether to prompt or
No problem.
help you out there, but yeah, you made my life
No
easier,
problem.
is how I would like to say. So question 2 coming up to Pat Gibson. Which cricketer, nicknamed the Chak Taha Express, became the first woman to take 200 wickets in women's ODIs, doing so against South Africa in November 2018. She was also ICC Women's Cricketer of the Year in 2007.
Patel.
Sorry, can you repeat your answer?
Patel?
Patel, that's incorrect. Chandrakant Nair.
I'm gonna say Jhulan Goswami.
Jhulan Goswami is indeed correct. You got a point there. Nice steal. Moving on to Thejaswi Udupa's civics. Let's see if we can get 16 on 16. No pressure. Question 1 to Udupa coming up. Which TV series, considered among the greatest animated series of all time, is centered around the journey of 12-year-old Ang? He is the current holder of the titular position and the last survivor of his nation, the Air Nomads. The widely panned 2010 film version was directed by Manoj Naik Shamlan.
Avatar, the Airbender.
Avatar, the last airbender, but Avatar is acceptable. That's a point to Udupa. The last question. Now the question 2 to Udupa coming up. The symbol of which grammatical sign came about as a ligature of the Latin et or et. The proper term for the symbol is a corruption of a phrase which literally means that this symbol is by itself the word it is used for. It is commonly seen in business names formed from partnerships of 2 or more people.
The ampersand or the and symbol.
Which is indeed correct, and that's 16 on 16 for Udupa. So before we get to the last 2 questions, we have Udupa leading with 18, Pat Gibson on 16, Chandrakant Nair on 13, and Arun on 10. Question 1 in the last round coming up to Arun. If the M in mRNA stands for messenger, which cell organelle does the M in mDNA stand for? The function of mDNA is to convert chemical energy from food into adenosine triphosphate, ATP, a form that the cells can use.
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria is indeed correct. That's a point. Last question of this week for this match coming up to Arun. Serving as the seat of the rebel Taiping Heavenly Kingdom from 1853 till 1864, and the Japanese puppet regime of Wang Jingwei from 1940 till 1945 during the Second Sino-Japanese War, it suffered a catastrophic massacre, meaning southern capital, which of the Chinese great ancient capitals gives its name to a kind of pale yellowish cloth originally made from here or made here.
Nanjing.
Nanjing is indeed correct. And that brings us to the end of the quiz.
Good show, Udupa.
Well played, everyone.
Well played.
Well played, everyone. Good game.
Good
Congrats,
game.
Udupa.
Well played.
Jessica.
Full house. Very impressive.
Well played, everyone. That, yes, it was the second 16 on 16, I think. Just give me a
Thank you,
second.
Ashwin.
Yeah, you're
Thanks,
welcome.
Ashwin.
Yeah, Ashwin.
Just give me a
Thanks,
second.
Ashwin.
Stop share.
Bye, Captain.
Yeah, see you all.
See you
All
all.
right. All right. That's a good game. See you, everyone. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do I stop the recording?